Welcome to the first episode of History of the Harp. My name is Taris, and today we will be looking at the triple strung harp with my very special guest, Alex Cronin. What exactly is a triple harp?
Triple harp is a harp that's strung with 3 rows of strings. There's a row for my left hand, which are like the white notes of the piano. From the bottom G, I'll play the left hand notes. So G, A, and then I have a B flat, C, and then just all the way up. There's middle C. F. For my right hand, I've got the same notes. So starting an octave higher, there's C, there's middle C, the middle row are of course are the black notes, so you just reach your finger in from either side to get a black note. So if I want an F sharp, I reach my finger in there. So if I want to play a D major chord with the F sharp, I just reach my finger in to get that F sharp in the middle there, and I can do the same with both hands. But the strings will produce a slightly different sound. The longer strings on the left hand side will produce perhaps what we might call a sweeter tone because they're longer. The right hand I pluck with fingernails and you get a brighter sound because the strings are shorter.
And where did this type of harp originate?
This is technically like a Baroque harp, a Baroque triple strung harp. So from around the times of Monteverdi and Italian into Spain a little bit, into France as well, and then carried through into England and Wales, where it's still played in this format. They still use their Welsh triple harps. Yeah.
So this harp is fully chromatic?
It's slightly more than fully chromatic, which is really interesting. This gets a bit technical here, but so if I play a B major chord, I have my B, which is the root of the chord, and then the third of the chord is a note which we call a D sharp. Now D sharp on the piano is the same note as E flat, but on the harp, on the Baroque harp, the triple harp here, you have one extra string which a piano doesn't have. There's the B and the F sharp on the top. Now, the note that lies between the E and the F, if I reach my finger between E and F, I get the note, this string, which doesn't exist on the piano, but here what we do is we tune it to a D sharp. So there's my D sharp, which is a nice flat D sharp. So B, D sharp, F sharp, and if I play them together, it sounds a nice sweet chord. It rings on. If I play it with the B and then the E flat, which is the E flat, which is the one in its normal position, which is between D and E, the E flat there. If I play my B major chord there, it doesn't have the same ring as that one, which sings straight away, jumps out much more than that. So there's that added level there of tuning, of chromaticism in the harp that you can use, and then you've also got it between the B flat and the A sharp. So B flat is there and A sharp is, which is always flatter. There's my F sharp major chord with the A sharp in its funny position. Okay, just something to make you get thoroughly confused about. Yeah.
With the middle notes or the sharps and flats, how difficult are they to reach?
You get used to it. You get used to the position of it. You go to a D major chord, you know that a D major chord is like that with the little things sticking up. Just imagine like piano players, they have the same feeling, You reach up for the chords, it becomes part of the way that chord is in your body, with a little extension. So it's just something to get used to, practice, and and lots of time spent doing it, I think, is the secret. Getting up to those 10,000 hours,
And I assume it'd be very easy to get accidentals. However, is it hard to do a key change or to play another key?
No, so that's one of the beautiful things about it, is the way you can wander with the key. So if I just start off in A major, you can go to D minor really easy. I love then slide into B flat, back to A. Then we might go to E major, back to A minor, and then you might go to D major. So you can go anywhere. At the drop of a hat, you can just go anywhere. It is just so lovely. I just love it.
That is amazing. Do you ever play the same melody on both hands to make it sound like you've got two instruments playing at once?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, or certainly I play the melody with the left hand sometimes. And you can, it is a very, when you play both strings together, you can do a nice little campanile. Try and make it sound like little birds up there, and you do the little both on either side. It can sound quite effective.
That sounds beautiful.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful. What are some things that this harp can do that other harps cannot?
It can play the blues.
It can play the blues.
You can sort of bend the notes. Sort of thing, terribly badly, but it does, because you've got all the notes just sitting under your fingers. It is virtually like a piano, with great, with lots and lots of time. You could probably play quite a lot of the piano repertoire, but it does get quite hard. Yeah.
Are there any well-known triple harpists who you gain influence from?
Andrew Lawrence King gives me great inspiration. I love hearing him play. There are a few players around, Mary Cleary, Marshall Maguire, he does some nice stuff.
Are there any disadvantages of this harp?
Sometimes, it's, apart from anything, it's very difficult. I find it extremely difficult, to do. I know some players can would find it easier, but because it can just do so many things. So some of the disadvantages are that your fingers will rattle if I try and, or damping, if I try and do fast notes in the bass. If I try and do a scale, say for it, and I have to reach my finger in, it's very hard to reach in and damp that B flat. I've got fairly biggish fingers, so it makes it a bit more difficult. Some players have very small, fine fingers, which probably can reach in easier than the way my fingers do. So it's a matter of damping. So we're trying to clean up the sound. If I play an F and then I play a G, I really want to try and get rid of the F so the G can ring on properly. Which is okay if you've got one row, because it's easy to damp, but when you've got an A flat chord and then you go to a G major and you want to reach in, you've got to damp the A flat if you can,
How long does it take to tune?
Tuning takes about 15 minutes. Yeah. So I just work my way up. Everybody has their own different way of tuning it, but I like to think I'm trying to start down the bottom and I work my way up the top. Yeah.
As I imagine that would be the most frustrating part for me.
Yeah, to the time that it takes, yeah. You just want to play, that's right. I know that feeling very well.
You just want to play, but then you have to tune 89 strings. And how heavy is it?
About 14 kilos. I haven't weighed it exactly, but something like that. 14 kilos, quite lightly strung, just a big box. I don't quite know what this wood is. Rainer, you'll have to tell us at some stage.
Do you have any tips for people who would like to learn a triple strung harp?
Starting off with the chords and getting your position, just starting to play the chords would be good, and then melodies, and then work. So I have a group called Pastance. We've been around for many years now, and we do various things. I work with my wife a lot, with Megan, but with Pastance we do a lot of the medieval, Baroque, Renaissance music. You can look us up on the internet there, pastance.com. So I'm going to do an original one now. I'll do a little one called Roma Mail. This is one that I wrote a few years ago now, about the train line between Brisbane and Roma.
have never really played a triple harp before, so this will be an interesting experience. On initial glance, I can't actually see the strings. It's a very confusing sight to begin with, and I can't even find the reference point. I'm sure that would become a lot easier over time. I find instantly if I close one eye, it's slightly easier. This harp has a very nice light string tension. You barely even have to touch the strings to get a nice sound out of it. As time went on, I gradually got the hang of it a little bit more, and I'm sure I probably could if I actually had the chance to sit down and play it properly. It is a very tricky thing, seeing 3 layers of strings. It's most difficult to see what my right hand is doing and which note it's on. However, I'm even struggling a bit with the left hand. That was me attempting to improvise on this. This is a really nice instrument to play. It's got such a nice, beautiful tone. It is amazing how all the notes are readily available at your fingertips, no levers or pedals required. And it is relatively light for a harp of this size and one that can do so much. It is a harp that I recommend trying if you know someone who owns one. And thank you guys all for watching.
So the only regret that I have about the triple strung harp is not getting one sooner, because I think the more time you can have to get into it, the better player you'll be. You always get better, always getting that little bit better. That's the beautiful thing about it.